The Georgians are an ancient people of the Caucasus region, primarily inhabiting Georgia, a country at the crossroads of Eastern Europe and the Middle East. The Georgian people trace their ancestry to the indigenous populations of the Caucasus, particularly the Colchians and Iberians, who were mentioned in ancient Greek and Roman sources. The Kingdom of Colchis, in western Georgia, and the Kingdom of Iberia, in eastern Georgia, were among the earliest Georgian polities, dating back to at least the 6th century BC. Over the centuries, Georgia came under the influence of the Persians, Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, Arabs, Mongols, and Ottomans, but managed to preserve its unique identity. One of the most powerful periods in Georgian history was the Golden Age, under King David the Builder and Queen Tamar, who expanded the kingdom and fostered a flourishing of culture and literature. Georgian cuisine is diverse and renowned for its rich flavors, often featuring meats, cheeses, and breads. Some of the most famous Georgian dishes include khinkali, which are juicy dumplings filled with spiced meat, khachapuri, which are a cheese-filled bread, and churchkila, a traditional Georgian candy made of nuts and grape must. Georgians have a vibrant tradition of folk dance, characterized by energetic movements and precise footwork. One of the most recognizable Georgian dances is the lezginka, although it originates in the northern Caucasus. Some prominent Georgian scientists include Niko Muskalishvili, a mathematician, and Simon Janishia, a historian. When listing prominent Georgian figures, it would be criminal to omit the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. Although his policies were actually rather detrimental to the Georgian people, he was of Kartvelian origin. Georgians had strong ties with the Byzantine Empire, particularly through the Christian faith. Many Georgians served as generals and mercenaries in the Byzantine army, including the famous John and Tornike Aristavi. Byzantine-Georgian relations were especially close during the rule of David the Builder, who benefited from the decline of Byzantine power in the region to assert Georgia's independence. Georgia was one of the first nations to adopt Christianity as its state religion in 337 CE, thanks to the efforts of Saint Nino of Cappadocia. The Georgian Orthodox Church has since been central to Georgian identity. Throughout history, Georgians fiercely defended their faith against Persian and Ottoman attempts to impose Islam. The famous Galati Monastery built by King David the Builder and Svetitskuveli Cathedral are among the most revered Christian sites in Georgia. Georgians descend mainly from Copper Age Caucasian groups, as can be seen in this cube admixture model. In terms of deeper admixtures, they are mostly of Caucasus hunter-gatherer origin, although with significant Levantine, European, and Anatolian admixture. For this video, I gathered 15 Georgian samples from the provinces of Samegrelo and Svaneti from a 2023 study on Georgian genetics. I ran the samples through my trait predictor tool for DNA analysis. The most common predicted phenotypes among these Georgians were Alpinid, Dinarid, and Cordid, with Literid, Iranid, and even Hallstatt Nordic also being present. The most common predicted eye colors among them were brown and hazel, although one sample had blue eyes with an amber center ring. The most common predicted hair color was dark brown, although there were samples with black and dark blonde hair as well. The most common predicted skin tone was olive, although there were samples with white and light brown skin as well. The most common predicted hair texture was curly, and no sample was predicted to have kinky hair texture. Every single sample scored Greek for their predicted nose shape, and 2 samples scored over 95% for the odds of a Greek nose shape. Every single sample had a high risk of male pattern baldness. Regarding mental health, the warrior phenotype, characterized by high dopamine levels and low stress resilience, was slightly more common than the warrior phenotype. The Georgians as a whole were predisposed to lower D2 receptor site availability, which is associated with lower odds of bipolar I and schizophrenia. The Georgians had a predisposition to higher odds of autism. The Georgians had high levels of empathy, mostly weren't tolerant of lactose, had a predisposition to lower odds of obesity, and high levels of plasma homocysteine, which carries cardiovascular risks. Regarding autoimmune diseases, the Georgians had high odds of rheumatoid arthritis, a condition known to be prevalent in the Caucasus and West Asian region. They also had elevated odds of type 1 diabetes, a predominantly European condition, and low odds of multiple sclerosis, another predominantly European autoimmune condition. The Georgians had average odds of cardiovascular issues, low odds of Alzheimer's as a whole, and average odds of age-related macular degeneration. The Georgians had mostly lower glucose levels, which is good, and carried rare risk variants for Parkinson's and irritable bowel syndrome. The Georgians mostly had O and A blood types, but B and even AB blood types were present. Thank you for watching my video until the end. Links to purchase my trait predictor executable will be in the description, along with the links to my DNA services which include CPATM modeling and FST analysis. Don't forget to leave a like and share.